usually way more than the internet can be. It's that like human beings can be cruel to each other. So like the reason it hurts for some reason is like this almost like this disappointment in people. They don't give each other a chance. So in that sense, the negativity doesn't have to be about Ukraine or geopolitics. It can be about the silliest of things.
I see.
And like, to me, it's like, why be mean to each other? In a context where the mean doesn't, like, it's out of place. Because, like, for example, there is like a gaming culture where they just talk shit to each other nonstop. I think it's more acceptable there. It seems to fit. It seems to be funnier there. In the, like when streamers talk shit to each other. I've been listening to several streamers recently, and it's like it somehow works a little better, even if they're just like cruel to each other.
Yeah,
it makes more sense. But I think when people are genuinely trying to educate or to help and so on, and you still get the shitty comments, I don't know. It makes me sad.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make me. It doesn't make me sad. I think part of that is also the way I was brought up. So I skipped kindergarten, so I was always the smallest kid. And
you were picked on?
I was picked on, and then I did picking. So I had kind of both in my life. I kind of know I went home from summer camp crying, and I also made a kid cry once in 4th grade.
Nice.
So I had the balance. And
physical or mental abuse? Or both?
Verbal.
Verbal.
No, I didn't beat anybody up. I was tiny. I think the kid in the younger grade was bigger than I was.
And you still broke him?
Because I was, so I had to use my...
mental warfare.
I had to use my words. I had to be... And growing up, my parents split when I was super young, and I played chess. So all things that make you super self-trustworthy. Like, you believe your first instinct. You don't listen to what other people tell you. And if people give you advice, say, okay, I'm going to think about that. I'm not going to go and do that. I wasn't impressionable. You couldn't convince me to do something. That's stuck to this day. My wife has had to deconstruct some of my stubbornness I didn't even realize was incredible stubbornness. It's just something that you brought up with. So to me, that stuff doesn't bother me. And it's
so the voices of others don't shake you quite. They can't mentally shake your like psychological stability.
No, they haven't. I think when it got probably at its worst point was in combination with being unable to perform well in over-the-board play. But that was also self-driven. I wasn't performing poorly because I was getting comments. But because I was performing poorly, the comments got to me more. The cycle was sort of in the opposite direction, and that was probably the most frustrating. People have said some vile things to me. You know about my whole Indonesia thing?
Ooh, this is good. This is going to give the anarchists and elite chess some cue. Let's go there. What's the Indonesia thing? The way you said it. Okay, maybe we don't want to talk about it.
No,
but let's talk.
No, it's totally fine.
Who did you kill?
I was going to say I wish, but God, I'm not even sure I can make a joke like that.
Yeah.
So the Indonesia thing was I was streaming chess on chess.com, I might add. And I got booted up a 10-minute game. Just a random account from Indonesia. That was the flag. Now, mind you, on these websites, you can pick your flag. It can be from wherever. It's not geo-tracing. You can change it. I was like, okay, account from Indonesia. And as always, I looked at the account because it was an untitled, high-rated account. And I looked through the games. Win rate was suspiciously high. Average accuracy was suspiciously high. I was like, okay, I think this is a cheater. I said it out loud. It's not the first time I've played cheaters on stream. And I said, okay, I'm still going to play. Let's see what happens. The game was not crazy suspicious, but definitely suspicious. A few critical moments where I just clearly thought I had a good position, and then the person or the bot played some move that just killed my hopes, and I lost. I was like, okay, I lost. And I wrote to the chess.com fair play team, like behind the scenes. I wasn't even saying anything publicly on stream, and the guy got banned. It was a cheater. So that night, right before I'm going to sleep, because Indonesia's 12 hours ahead of New York, I go on my Twitter. What the hell is going on? I see hundreds of responses to my recent tweets. Levy, you gotta check Facebook, man. You gotta check Facebook. Like, so here's a link. So, allegedly, that account belonged to an older gentleman, and his son made a Facebook post that said, my dad played a big streamer in chess, Gotham Chess, and Gotham got mad he lost to my dad, so his community mass reported my dad, and he was banned for cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it went viral.
Oh, no.
Did you know that Indonesia has the 4th largest population in the world? I didn't know. I learned it the hard way.
Interesting.
Tens of thousands of DMs every second.
Wow.
Instagram DMs, because I had my DMs open. I was never afraid of that stuff. My YouTube videos went from 99% upvote, downvote to 50. 50-50.
Oh, wow.
They swarmed my comments.
All negative.
All play him again. I mean, I don't know how much swearing there is on this podcast, but I mean, it was just all sorts of...
All the fucking swearing you want.
They...
Just everything. Ruthless, the vicious...
They were going to kill me. They were going to rape my family. They were contacting people I followed on Instagram. They were contacting them and telling them crazy things. It was, I'm not joking, it was tens of thousands of people every minute. It was unbelievable. And I didn't know what to do because the guy cheated. I was in the right.
Yeah. Well, how certain were you that he cheated?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I mean, okay, I don't know if you can say 100%, but...
So chess.com also had a suspicion.
What
they have good detection algorithms.
Yes, Danny Wrench would be able to. I legitimately know nothing about the behind the scenes because it's only kind of tech people. But one thing I did not realize was that this account, whether it was the son playing or the father playing, we will not know. We don't know who played. It could have been the son. It could have been the dad covering for him. Whatever. But at some point, that account won 27 games in a row at 95% accuracy. I mean, even Magnus can't do that. Even, this took a month. This story took 1 month from start to finish. First, I had to work with a media company to geo-block my content in Indonesia on YouTube. So Indonesians could not see my channel.
Oh, so you didn't want to lean into it. Go full Donald Trump.
No.
Let's because you're in the right. You feel like you're in the right. You, as far as you know, you're in the right.
Yeah, and I hated watching all my work burn to the ground.
You felt it was being.
Yeah, and one thing I'm learning about myself is I'm not a good crisis actor. I need someone to slap me so I don't do something emotional in the moment when crisis is ongoing.
What would be the emotional act that's not productive there?
Partnering with an MCN that makes you give away a bunch of your revenue, and then when you break with them, I wasn't monetized for a week. It was a very big decision to plug in. I think they're called MCNs, but
what are they? Sorry, I don't. What are
they're there's specialized agencies that work behind the scenes with YouTube.
Yeah.
That if you connect your account, they say they can give you certain ad benefits. They can geo-block your content. Which you can't do normally. They have certain perks that only YouTube allows behind the scenes. You pay them 10% of your monthly ad revenue, but they claim to do a handful of things for you. I just needed them to geo-block my content. I didn't care how much money I was going to give away per month. But
so why geo-block it? You just didn't like the downvoting.
Yeah, I didn't want.
You wanted positivity, more like you're being educational. You do a bit of shit talking, but it's more like fun and easygoing. You didn't want this kind of viciousness.
Yeah, my comment section was just being completely flooded. They were destroying my channel. And to be honest, maybe all of the views and the downvotes would have actually been beneficial. Maybe it meant my videos would have actually started getting recommended to more people.
Yeah.
But I'm a person. It all goes back to the same thing.
Oh, so this got to you.
Yeah, this was I was just watching it, and I'm like, this is not fair. I don't know what to do. So I'm going to stop this as much as I can. They still got through. They have VPN. And they were like, you asshole, you don't think we have VPN in Indonesia? It was this whole, thing. This father and son got invited to every major news network. I'm not joking. They got invited to the major podcast. They like to say the Joe Rogan of Indonesia.
Yeah.
Deddy Corbuzier is this mentalist. He's a bald guy, very fun guy. Mm-hmm. He had them. And that's when the Indonesian Chess Federation stepped in. The thing is, nobody who was harassing me knows anything about chess. They just saw the story. And long story short, they brought in a sponsor. The guy played a strong, one of the strongest chess players in the country, who also happens to be a woman, Irene Sukandar. She's like 2400 international master. She crushed him because his actual playing strength is 1300, 1400, something like that. He still got paid because there was a winning prize fund and a losing prize fund, and we never heard from him again. And that was the whole story. So that was why I had to shut down all of my social media to DMs and DM requests and even notifications. Like, I don't get notifications unless it's someone I follow.
But see, stuff like that doesn't often get resolved in this kind of clear way.
No, it doesn't. It could have been.
So you got lucky there that there's a conclusion to this.
Yeah, somebody got views, somebody got money, and I never got many apologies.
What did you learn from that experience about yourself, about the internet?
I think first and foremost, I learned that every moment you are live or broadcasting can be completely blown out of proportion. You have to be real careful, and I can't actively think about that, unfortunately, even when I'm streaming. I've had other instances where things come back to bite. I've even had these moments live on stream. I feel like I said something too sarcastically to somebody, and I don't know how their day is going. It might ruin their whole day. You know, God knows what. You have these moments of regret where you want your personality to shine through and you want to entertain. You start thinking, at what cost? If I make a joke to a viewer that suddenly the whole chat is laughing at them, what if that puts them in a deep, dark place? And again, it all comes back to this one-on-one thing for me, because I'm a human. I would hate to put another person into that situation. If I would much rather get a drink with somebody than but it's all kind of part of this act, and you want to make jokes. And I also learned I'm a horrible crisis actor, so I have no patience, but I think that's normal in 2022. Everything is immediate. We can barely sit, think, let time go by.
It makes me sad because I think that kind of stuff can destroy good people. That's what makes you sad.
Yeah, well, one of the things we discussed just here before recording, which I've talked about this on stream, I'm very open with this type of stuff, is I think for me, a lot of that comes down to just a lack of control of the narrative. That phrase is kind of messy. It can be used for political stuff, but I hate when I say things and they get completely misconstrued, or they are completely misinterpreted, and I can't imagine being in your shoes, because again, I do chess. You can clip me saying something about a chess game out of context and it's hilarious. You know, it's dumb. It's nothing. It's not an attack on me or something that I said. It's not an attack on, just kind of more similarly to what you were describing. And
you don't say stuff like that, like ridiculous. You don't say ridiculous shit about yourself.
Oh, I
like
do.
That.
I do.
And you don't feel like that could be made. Isn't this the same guy that said X?
Maybe I either haven't said enough of those things, or there's no moments I don't have 3-4 hour open conversations with other humans, and I'm pretty sure if I did, there would be more of that stuff out there. But that's probably what it is, just a lack of being able to kind of control what is actually reality, and that is very frustrating. And
you're right. I mean, there is a sense that there's not enough motivation for people to attack you. You're ultimately adding a lot of positive stuff to the world, and when you get into more political topics, there's people who are hurting, who have a lot of anger in their hearts, and they want to direct it towards you. So then they need ammunition, and ammunition comes in the way of like clips from the past. So I'm sure that I'm pretty sure you already have clips like that. It's just there's not people that really have anger to direct towards you. Ultimately, you're adding a lot of good stuff to the world, and so but it's, man, the viciousness of human beings under the veil of anonymity at scale can be really painful. So I guess that's the curse, the challenge of being a creator on YouTube and so on Twitch. When you talked about retiring, I think you tweeted about retiring from chess.
In a video, I tweeted. It's my value to the world.
The tweet or the video?
No, just
the both.
Yeah.
I'm retiring from all competitive chess events. My preparation is outmatched. My calculation skills are too flawed. And most importantly, my anxiety is beyond repair. I physically and emotionally cannot do it anymore.
Yeah.
What was the hardest thing? What was the hardest thing about competing? Like, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. I think it's separated into phases of my life. So after being a creator and coming back and playing over the board and making recaps of all my games, I think the constant feeling that I had at the board was a kid who hadn't studied enough for a test, which is a very unique type of anxiety. And during the game, it was just self-hatred. Like, good moves did not feel as good as how bad moves felt and bad moments.
And underneath that, you're saying there was a sense that I did not prepare well enough. Always.
Oh, unquestionably. So I'm an international master, but there's international masters now who are 11. I got the title when I was 22, which is late. That might not sound like it's late, but it's really late, and I quit chess multiple times when I was a teenager. If I hadn't, one of my parents was like, sit down, this is the only thing that you're good at, focus on it.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have been a grandmaster, but that's life, right? And I would come back to chess at various points in my life when I felt more mature, I felt more ready, and I felt more motivated. It was all me. I had one coach when I was maybe about 10. I never listened to the guy. Great guy. Like, he emailed me even recently, just wanting to catch up, which I thought was adorable, because I don't even know if he knows that YouTube chess exists. He's in his 70s. He's just like a nice older guy.
Yeah.
And he would come to my house. We would have dinner. My grandma would make us food, and he would tell her that I'm brilliant, but I never work. And I have so much potential. If only I ever worked at all 1 minute on anything. I just played speed games online, and
did he speak the truth there? Like, could you have worked more?
I could have worked more for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
When you listen to Magnus, he seems like he doesn't work either.
He works. He might work in different ways, but I think for him it's also obsession. Again, love. It's everything. He might read a book, he doesn't consider it work. It's work. He's getting information in and he's learning something. It might just be easier for him to learn than for me, for example, or for anybody. Just everybody learns and absorbs things differently. So I would come back to chess, and the best run of my life that I had was in 2016, where I basically, while teaching a chess program, scholastic chess program, I told all the parents, hey, so for these 4 months, I want to stop doing private lessons, and I'm going to go travel and play tournaments because I want to become an international master finally. I'm 20 years old. This is in 2016. Like, can you help me raise some money? These are all managing directors. These are lawyers. These are 7-figure, 8-figure households. And they contributed, and I kept a blog. And then I worked just 6 hours, 7 hours every day, like studying all the opening trends, all of the new ideas, reading the books, analyzing my own games, playing my own speed games and analyzing them, training every day. And that year I went from 2240 over the board to 2404 with 2 of the 3 norms, as they call them, which are basically tournament performances. Like, you perform at a certain level. Not too complicated. So I got almost everything I needed to be an IM. But I just slipped up at the very end, and 2017 I didn't play chess, but in 2018, I came back once again with a vengeance. I started playing in the summer once again, and I went up to my peak. But then, something interesting happened. My life mission was accomplished. I never wanted or thought I could be a grandmaster.
Yeah.
I wanted to be an international master. And the adrenaline dump of hitting the IM title, I just stopped working completely. I just completely stopped working. I couldn't, and the second I started falling, I couldn't stop. And I spent the rest of the summer just tanking. And I said, fuck this. I made my IM. I'm gonna fuck off someplace and whatever. I'll be IM. It doesn't matter. But when I play games online, I mean, I destroy grandmasters all the time. Like, dynamically, dynamics in chess are just complex positions with all sorts of calculation, attacking, defending, like very forcing lines. I think it's my best strength. I think I'm easily grandmaster level.
So that you have the capacity to be grandmaster.
100%. Like
if the work was put in.
If the work was put in, and I was not doing my current career, if I just trained full time, I think I could do it.
Do you have a desire to be grandmaster? Did you have a desire? You said I didn't really want, like, the main goal was international master, which, by the way, is a really interesting. Just I've talked to Olympic athletes. The crash after the gold medal is fascinating.
Yeah, I didn't get gold, but for me, that was my goal.
That was your goal. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's the goal.
Yep.
It takes a very, very special person to not be destroyed by the gold and continue the dominance.
Yeah.
It's to continue growing, to continue. I mean, it's hard to, that's why they talk about it's hard to be a champion and defend your championships or whatever the goal is, to achieve the goal and stick to, like,
It broke me.
It broke you.
Yep.
So you have the capacity to be a grandmaster. Have you ever thought, by the way, is it still possible for you, or you're fully dedicated now to the love of creating and analyzing this game?
I don't think I'm going to do what I do right now forever. So...
Well, you're going to die one day.
Right.
Just a heads up.
Yes. I once cried when I realized that. I was at a funeral. It was very sad. That's another entirely separate rabbit hole to go down.
When did
this happen?
Yeah.
Just a couple years ago. Yeah, it was rough.
So you really were able to, like that realization really hit you, like, fuck, this ends.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who I have my active thoughts in my brain of things I have to get done, and the more of those the better, because my brain will walk me off a cliff, not the physical body, the brain itself will walk off a cliff, spinning in circles. So I try to keep myself as active as possible on tasks I have to do. It's good, and I'm busy. It's good I'm at the scale I am, because you can't really rest a whole lot. But yes, I have these moments in my life where I have realizations of past fuck-ups or things I really have to do that I've been, like, really doing poorly, or things like this. Mm-hmm. Massive existential things that just hit me like a bus.
There's several things tricky about it. So, because I meditate on death a lot. Like, in this conversation, I imagine this is the last thing both you and I do. And we're going to die after this. So you meditate on that. But then you also have to, I think what hits people really hard is the realization that life moves on. Not only does it just end for you, but most people will be like, they'll, in your case, they'll tweet. And it's like, oh, he's so great. There'll be so much outpouring. There'll be outpouring of love and so on for a day, and then it moves on.
Yeah.
And the new trees grow, new bridges are built, and then eventually human civilization ends or moves over to Mars and so on, and you'll be forgotten completely. Yeah. But that for most people will come right away. Like you get a cancer diagnosis or something like that, and it's like, doesn't anyone else know that I'm going to die? Does anyone else care?
Yeah.
Like, nobody gives a shit. I mean, they do. I mean, there's love there, but, like, not in a dramatic way that you would somehow deep inside hope for, that the world would stop because your life is facing this catastrophic event. So, yeah. But I think ultimately what you could channel that realization into appreciation of the current moment. It's just the people you love and sharing love with them as intensely as possible, experiencing every moment as intensely as possible, because eventually there'll be a last moment, and after that there'll be no more moments.
That's sort of what I do. Yeah. I try to channel all of that into... Sorry, I don't use these fancy microphones in my own...
You look uncomfortable. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, Levy.
With this microphone?
No, with this line of conversation.
Oh.
I'm playing therapist.
I don't know if I'm uncomfortable. I don't know if I have a lot to say. Sometimes I just listen.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm intimidated.
not your
You
fault.
say a lot of good things, and
Yeah.
I'm like, shit. What am I gonna say? Like at the end
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
On this subject especially, I'm like, that's sort of what
There's nothing. What do you think happens after
You
we die?
died?
Oh man.
No,
You
that's a
kissed
rhetorical
goodbye?
question. What were we talking about? Grandmaster. Grandmaster. So, how hard is it to reach? What are the requirements for Grandmaster, by the way? Because and what are the requirements for International Master? You mentioned a few requirements and so on.
Yes. So the first one is you have to know how to use a Shure mic and an arm. I'm slowly
You were
learning.
impressed by the Shure microphone, by the way.